back again.
Back.
Episode 2
Of the Make Sense podcast. Let's get it.
Not even playing that shit. Alright, guys. So let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. Defunding the police. Defunding the police.
Yeah, that's a touchy one, man.
Alright, how much money in some cities, and like how drastic have you seen it? You know, how fast is it going to be done? I mean, I would say like this is probably going to take like a year at least to actually like remove that money, right?
Yeah, I mean, so some states are still arguing about it. Like some states have already removed partial funding. I feel like they were really quick to like want to appease everybody, which is good that like, you know, people are getting a response from their officials, but like I feel like for something like that so many people rely on something like first responders and police. You gotta have something in place before you just start, you know, whacking away at the weeds.
And it's crazy too because like it's not really like the mayor's decision, the governor's decision. It's like the people that are pushing these decisions. And you what was that? The one governor that went to the protests and he was like in the face.
It was in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
it was the mayor.
The mayor of Minneapolis came out and was asked the question like, "Will you or will you not abolish police?" And he said like, "No."
Yeah, well, so they asked him. They asked him, "Were you, like, will you defund?" And then so he asked the question to clarify. He was like, "Do you mean the full abolishment of the police?" And they were like, "Yes."
Right.
He was like, "No, I do not support that." Right. And they were like, "Get the fuck out of here!" So I mean,
wow, he did clarify that pretty well though.
Yeah, I mean, at least he stuck to his guns on that thing.
But I mean, it's just crazy to think that like it's almost like a forced thing that. Like because you know governors and mayors they want to like be reelected.
Yeah.
So it's not even what's right or wrong. It's
they're
like,
really in the rat race too.
Yeah.
They have less of like a support system of like the Republican National Convention, the DNC or whatever to support them in their election. So it's like, you know, there's like grassroots all the time. So you got to be quick with, you know, getting that public opinion on your side.
That's what's crazy about it too, because I mean, there's some cities they're doing some drastic changes. I think in New York they were gonna take $1 billion pay cut from the police department just itself.
Didn't they already like get rid of that like plainclothes crime unit or something like that?
Which one was?
In New York,
like undercover type shit.
Yeah, like I mean they were plain clothes and they would have their badges, but like I don't know. I guess. I don't even know, man. I saw something about that where like there was a quick spike in crime like among all of the protests when it was getting really hot, like earlier, maybe like midway through June. I don't know exactly what they did, but I know they got rid of like a plainclothes crime unit, and there was like, you know, big backlash.
And who knows how long they were actually there, right? And
True.
Like actually doing.
Who knows what they're actually doing anyway?
Getting money, getting funded from them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of crazy to think like how drastic this could all be done, because with less money they're gonna have less police officers, and then I was reading in an article that it's a shame too, because when this defunding happens and then they start having less jobs available, it's more likely that the young ones are gonna get let go.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're not.
The seniority is really going to take effect because you have all these veteran cops that are expected to do so much anyways. And it's like, what, you're going to defund the police, like, so there's less money available for training, and then you're going to have these young recruits that are the ones that are untainted, right? The narrative is that like the people that have been there a long time develop the culture of brutality and stuff, which in many cases is true.
And the young ones would have like kind of helped uproot that whole thing.
Right, but they're not the ones that are going to be kept around.
And then on top of that, in the future, they're gonna have less jobs open for them.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, well, at the same time, I mean, I don't know. It's just these police departments are probably just gonna get gutted.
Yeah.
And then all the wrong people, allegedly, most likely, probably. Those people are probably just going to be there still.
Yeah. So, also, when we talk about defunding the police, like, it's good to talk about the fact that it's not just I mean, it's explained differently through different like political groups. Some people will say it's like full abolishment. Some people would say it's like you're just taking a percentage of what of the money that that's allocated to them. Some will say that it's you're just moving money around within the organization, which like all three could be implemented in a way, I guess.
Right.
But it's so hard within a month or a couple months of the incident that sparked all this conversation to know exactly what the best one is,
and then to make those drastic changes.
Yeah, with no safety net. It's just like we're making these cuts to the police that like is a lifeline for a lot of people. And I mean, in some cases, maybe it works. Maybe people step up and protect the community. And
yeah, some people were saying like I forgot what it was, like a safety.
Like the Jim Brown gun club or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they stepped up and they were like policing their community because there were bad protests going on there.
Yeah. There was like a lot of like in cities like New York State, there was a lot of talk of like it was called like safety departments that would have been like the safety net for like if the police departments were to fall through. I guess it was just like a volunteer work base.
Huh. Do they show up with like their own firearms and stuff? I wonder.
I'm not right exactly.
Yeah.
How would they do these things and not be like the authority?
Right.
You know.
So like look at Chaz or CHOP, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. They like seize off this section of the city in Seattle.
Right.
And immediately they do things that countries do. They that political ideology is kind of like fighting against right now. They immediately put up walls.
Yeah.
They have armed guards everywhere.
Smokes.
They're beating the fuck out of people. They're kind of like holding people inside this autonomous zone that there's not police that can just come in and help the people that are like kind of stuck there.
So that's the one thing actually I didn't read upon like too much, but I know what's going on. I know it's the protest that's happening. I know that they're trying to they're doing so much rioting that they're like taking over block sections.
Yeah, I mean this ended a while ago, but it just real quick it turned like kind of violent, and they were like, okay, this is like kind of fucked up. We're just handing guns out to people. They had Raz, the like little warlord over there.
To like the people.
Yeah, dude. There's
rioting.
So Raz, the dude that was like the leader of it. There's videos of him just like passing out like long guns to people, like it's nothing. Like he's like, here you go. There's this one viral video. This kid was like, I think he was 18, so there might be even like legal trouble with like giving a gun of that magnitude to a minor because it's like 21 for certain guns.
Yeah.
But yeah, the kid looks like dumbfounded. He's like, what, for real? It's like probably the first time he's seen a gun like that. He just hands it to him out of the back of his car. Fuck.
I just think it's so crazy because like nowadays it's like there's a lot of over analyzing. Like people are just looking for other people that are making mistakes.
That's
just
true.
And just pouncing on it. And right now it's like we're going to the people that are supposed to be capturing the people who make mistakes and keeping all of us safe, but it's like I honestly like you watched V for Vendetta, right?
You told me about it, but I never watched it.
Well, it's a corrupt, government and all this, but the police force just covers up anything that they do, and it's like I feel like if
so
our
it's like
police
qualified immunity times 10 kind of thing.
So if our police force were to get berated this much more, I feel like they would be forced to covering up more of their things.
That's true.
And like who knows, they could get more sketchy and more behind the scenes because they don't want to release anything to other people, and then the media just gets
that pressure
right?
could get to them,
right?
Like, so you have like demoralization of the police going on, and you also have, I'm sure, the cops that, because it's not like when this started, all the bad cops just left, and then all the good cops are there like, no, please, like let's be cops. They're still there doing the job because they want their paycheck. And then they're also in a pressure cooker of like, you're the bad guy, and who knows like how they act. I mean, that's not like an argument to keep them, but just something that might be like unfolding while we don't even know that it's about like something's about to happen with it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I've said this to a lot of people. The way I view the police in this country is the same way I view like the majority of the population is. There's gonna be good people and there's gonna be bad people.
Yeah, no doubt.
And right now, I feel like there's a scope on police that are being bad and police that are abusing their power and their authority. There's a whole scope on them.
Yeah.
And
Right,
that scope,
rightfully so.
yeah,
You know?
exactly, rightfully so. But it's like we're not really missing. It's just we're so focused on one thing, and when you're focused on one thing, it just creates this fear and like this want to act. And
Yeah,
it's
and
just,
you start like piecing things
Yeah,
together, and you're
it's-
like,
it's-
oh, see, this
yeah.
incident and this incident amplify the magnitude of how I'm upset about it. Like,
right, and sometimes it's not always accurate.
yeah,
So that's one thing that's like with the media these days. There's a lot of power with the media, and that goes hand in hand with people wanting to defund the police, because
Yeah.
what we're seeing of the police, 90% of what we're seeing, we're not really. I mean, I hope we're not experiencing. 90% we're seeing on the news, we're seeing on our phones, we're seeing a lot of it, and of course, what people want to record is the bad shit.
yeah, of course. Like, and sometimes you'll get those feel good moments with the
Yeah,
cops where
yeah.
they're like, playing basketball in
Yeah.
like inner city
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, you're right.
But most times it's them like yanking someone out of a car and like fucking pile driving them into the cement or something.
Yeah, I mean, it has nothing to do with how they do their job. It's just the media, the way that the media is working right now. It's focusing on the bad side of it,
yeah.
painting them in a bad image. But I mean, anywho.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's really a good tool if like it has its like checks in place.
yeah,
But it just kind of like not only is like it's a hot button topic, so people are gonna be paying attention to it, but there's a need to be first with media. So of course there's gonna be inaccuracies in the reporting, and then they're gonna get clicks for that. It's gonna be about police brutality because they have their window of like mass protests, and people are gonna be hyper focused on like, okay, what do I need? Like, what can I know about this to solidify why I'm like participating in these protests? So they're gonna get clicks on that, and then they're gonna get more clicks on the correction of the fucking the shit that they got wrong. Never, and less people are gonna see that. Like, oh, correction here. Like it's gonna
Right.
be and like.
And there's not a caption on every video either.
Right,
So
yeah,
if
it's
something's not completely clear.
Yeah, context is like
Context is-
always just
yeah.
lost completely.
Well, I mean, another thing is just like. So there are some areas that we're talking about, like you were saying, like the difference between abolishing and defunding the police, completely different. Defunding the police could probably go as far as maybe 10% of the money go somewhere else, restructured, but abolishing the police, I think there was a few. You were saying Minneapolis was
Yeah, I know,
was
like-
talking about the idea of abolishing.
Like pretty immediately, Minneapolis was putting forth a vote to abolish them, and man, I know it was getting traction. I don't know
Should we look
if
it
it
up?
got passed. Yeah, let's see. If you want to look it up on there,
Yeah, let me see. Let's see what I could find here.
Yeah, so Wall Street Journal, Minneapolis City Council advances plan to abolish police department.
Wall Street.
So I guess it's a plan.
What's the title?
Minneapolis City Council advances plan to abolish police department.
Alright, let's see here. Oh, I can't even
To
sign
read
in.
the full story, subscribe.
You said it was what source?
Wall Street Journal. That was it.
That was it, right? Alright.
Why do I get it? You don't. That's weird.
Should I just sign in?
Do you have a Wall Street Journal account?
No. Do you?
No.
Hey.
Hey, hold on.
Wait, did I say view membership option? Nope. Alright, well, what does this say? It's the first steps toward abolishing its police department, replacing it with community safety. Look at this. This is what I was saying.
Community
With the Department of
safety.
Community Safety and Violence Prevention. What does that even mean?
So yeah, let's think about what that looks like. Do they get support from the National Guard also? Do they get like the weapons and the
I just don't. I don't see how the difference between community of safety Like when I read Department of Community Safety and Violence Prevention, when I read that, I immediately think of people without weapons,
Yeah,
right?
but I feel like they're gonna have weapons though, right?
Yeah. That's what would separate this Department of Community Safety and Violence Prevention from police.
Hmm.
Because, I mean,
Yeah, so let's think about that. If they don't have weapons, let's consider that. I feel like you're gonna have a lot of more crime. Because you gotta think that while them being militarized is like fucking scary and looks like fucking Baghdad or something.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know if this has ever been made, but like a stun gun, right? Let's think of a stun gun. But let's think of a stun gun in the sense of like,
the stream.
yeah. Let's think of a stun gun in the sense of it only shoots one bullet per trigger, right? So what if like we made like an assault rifle stun gun that could instantly shoot like 30 of these stuns at a time.
So like a
Could you get
like
killed if you got
taser
stunned?
assault rifle.
Yeah.
I mean,
Could you get killed if you got stunned too much?
I don't know, man, because like sometimes public officials will argue that tasers are a deadly weapon, and sometimes they'll say that they're not. So you remember
Okay.
the Rayshard Brooks killing that happened like a couple of weeks into the protest?
Mm-hmm.
He was like
think so.
he was like drunk at a Wendy's, and he was like
yeah.
asleep in his car, and the police pull him out, and there's like everything's cool. They start putting cuffs on him. I guess he has like a nervous reaction, or maybe he didn't like want to go back to jail because I know he had like warrants out. So he starts wrestling with them, and somehow he fucking overpowers these guys. I got like more training, I guess is what they need because
Yeah.
two guys can't hold down one guy. But so he gets away from them. Somehow got one of their tasers, and he's booking it. He turns back to fire it, and then they shoot him dead. So the district attorney in Georgia was like, oh yeah, these cops need to be wrapped up. Like this is fucking murder, and then that's abetting murder because that's not a deadly weapon. That's not reason to pull out your gun and fire at them. But then they're like, as soon as he said that, a video resurfaces of him like 2 months earlier, arguing that a cop used a deadly weapon on someone because he used his taser to restrain someone. So it's like, can a taser kill you? Maybe.
I immediately started thinking about like heart conditions.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you were saying, I mean, if any like conditions like I don't even know, you get you start you have convulses or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's a few conditions, but like at the same
you
time,
can start having a heart attack. I mean,
yeah, but at the same time, like it's either that or the cop has no other option but to shoot people that are running away. But at the same time, like imagine, I guess the only negative on a stun gun pistol is just the fact that you have one charge.
Yeah.
And then if you need to shoot somebody else, then you have to like reload that charge. But imagine like you had at least like an AR, like a semi-automatic like stun gun, and then you just have it strapped to you. And so there's no risk of people there's no risk of people taking it off your holster.
Yeah, but I just think the same people that are just scared of like police in general, like they think that police as a foundation is not sustainable, they would probably just start like further the argument, be like, oh, why do they need that? Like, why do their job's not to kill me, their job is to like detain me so that I go to trial. But it's like, you're asking a lot of them. You're asking them to go in the face of people that are committing crimes, and some people that are not. Like sometimes they got the wrong guy or whatever. But it becomes, for every stipulation you put on the cops, it just becomes a taller ask of their job, and it points to almost needing more funding, or to create another thing that would just require more funding.
It does.
To replace that.
I've even talked about like that. I've thought about that idea more because when you like, and I've talked about this because I went to college, so I know it takes 4 years to actually, even for a communications degree, man, like 4 years for a communications degree, and 6 months to become a cop with a fucking gun.
which you need communication. You need to understand, in my opinion, economics, because you need to understand this, like the socioeconomic area that you're going into to police.
Yeah.
You need to know
good.
like psychology. You
Yeah.
need to be a fucking purple belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You need to be like a marksman with your weapon. Like you need to be like meditating every day. You need to be physically fit. Like it's just it gets insane.
Mentally
Like,
healthy.
Yeah, you should be in great shape. You should be mentally healthy. Like just it's a too tall of an ask to couple that with defunding.
Yeah.
So something that a lot of people bring up is like whatever, like the training isn't what costs the money, it's all of the like military vehicles they're buying, like they have fucking they have like army MRAPs and like up armored Humvees and stuff.
So they gotta buy new vehicles every 5 years or some shit?
Yeah, like it is
What?
ridiculous, dude. They have like Humvees with fucking 50 cals on top in some cities that are like spray painted black. But like,
I mean,
what people don't realize is that's army surplus most of the time. It's like it's shit that they're getting rid of that like goes up for auction because they're trying to buy the newest shit. They're trying to buy the next technology to go supply their soldiers with.
Right.
So like, they get a lot of shit that way. It's not like they're blowing $1 billion on a fucking tank to put down in East LA or anything.
But I mean, I don't know. You look at a city like New York City, they have, I think it was like, I wish I knew the number.
Oh shit, same as here.
It was a huge, gang. It was a huge number, but how many cops are they?
He said Hubbies are ass too. He drives one. He's like a gunner for one.
How many how many police members do they have in New York City, the police department? Because they have like, I know north of $1 billion that they have to that department.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like where does that money
where
go?
does that go? I mean,
A lot of it gets wrapped up in bureaucracy of like just managing other managers that manage the police, like kind of shit.
yeah.
A lot of it goes to training. A lot of it goes to like
Oh, yeah,
certification
training, yeah,
and
yeah.
like contracts to lease out all of the body armor and the fucking guns.
Yeah,
You know-
but the training should be, they should use all that money on training and stop trying to get the new toys, because I feel like that's what they're trying to
Yeah.
do. They're trying to get the new cars.
Yeah, that's
They have
true.
a deal with these car companies every 10 years, the Lincoln and then the Ford.
Those
but it's
things
like-
are mean too.
What's wrong with the Lincolns? Like,
Man,
you know,
it's
like,
not cool
I
enough.
don't- right?
Dude, they have to look like stormtroopers. They
Yeah.
literally have to look like fucking occupiers. Have you seen a cop lately, dude? They all have their like gelled back hair. They got the
Yeah.
black sunglasses on. They got like this thick ass plate carrier.
Yeah.
They got all the patches on the front. They have their utility belt. Like they look like fucking militants.
They got 157 pockets on their front vest.
Yeah, like there's tons of cops that are great guys, but like
Yeah.
undeniable, they have to look at their appearance in the morning and think like I look cool before they think like, oh, I'm someone that's approachable for someone from my community.
Yeah.
Like they look like stormtroopers, dude. So
They even got like a tone. I feel like they honestly even train that tone of voice too, because or it's just their ego just talking out every time.
Yeah.
Like, they got like the same boisterous like.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have to control the situation, so I get to an extent the intimidation factor, but we have to think about how weird that is as an approach to your people. Like, oh, I need to go in and dominate the situation as opposed to
Right.
being like an asset to the situation.
Right. And actually keep people safe. I don't know. There's and a lot goes into that with the training too. I mean, there was some rumors about the training also including like systemic racism, about like how to deal with those situations, and
Yeah.
like
The thing
they're
is,
really spending their time on that when they could be, like you were saying, martial arts.
yeah, dude, like jiu-jitsu is the most important tool in my opinion for like all humans right now. Like, if you have the opportunity, go fucking get into jiu-jitsu, dude. It's gonna make
How long does that take to actually get good? Like to actually like know what you're doing.
Listen, dude, I've been doing it since I was like 16 and I still suck. Like, there's so many levels to it. Like, even as a black belt, black belts know that when they get their black belt, they're just a new white belt to other black belts, because then you're rolling with the black belts that have been rolling with the best guys that there is.
The white belt is right below the black belt.
No, the white belt's first.
First one?
So yeah, so when it's white, blue, purple, brown, black.
Yeah.
So like that brown belts love to stay brown belts because they're like the fucking top dog, and they can still go compete with all the other top dogs, and they're learning all that information. They're storing it like in this big bubble.
You get a certificate for getting those belts?
Dude, the thing is, it's not like Taekwondo. Like, if someone knows Jiu-Jitsu and knows you have a black belt, like, they know you're a fucking killer. But if you have a black belt in Taekwondo, sometimes you're a killer. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you, like, did the kata, like, fucking, you know, kia! Like, it's a different thing completely, because in Jiu-Jitsu, to belt up, you have to be competing with other people that, like, are just going crazy. Like, they're getting in shape. They like, everyone cuts weight at Jiu-Jitsu tournaments. Mm-hmm. Like, when I was competing, when I was like 20, 21, I was competing at 135 in Iowa, and like, you know, I'm fucking 5'11".
Yeah.
I was strung out, man. Like, I was, like it was like, I didn't know shit about diet either. I was just like eating very little, and like tuna fish, and I would like sweat it out, and I looked like fucking death. But jiu-jitsu, I feel like that's mandatory for cops, because it humbles you. Like, you know that there's just people that can like fuck you up any day of the week. Like at your place of comfort where you go to have fun. Right. And so. And then also just your ability to control a situation. Like, people don't understand, if there's a like competition blue belt standing next to you on the street, like 99% chance that dude can fuck you up like right away. He'll grab you and just start fucking you up, like like manhandle you. Like, they're savages.
See, like, I wonder, like, if they have, do they do Taekwondo in police training? What
They probably do some dumb shit that's like, oh, like, grab the wrist, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, they don't teach, like, real, like, you have to be physically fit and really quick and, like, have that competition mindset when you're going into, like, hand-to-hand combat with someone. Like, in jiu-jitsu, you're, like, using your body to displace other people's body weight, as opposed to, like, wrist locks, which, if you're standing and you're trying to grab someone's wrist, like, fuck off. Like, do something else. You need to try and grab them, or you better have really nice hands, or like be able to kick the fuck out of them.
Especially anyone that's like drugged out.
Break the wrist, walk away.
Especially if anyone's like drugged out. Like,
grabbing
my wrist, dude, I'm booking
the whole George Floyd situation. If that dude was a purple belt, he would have been able to. First of all, I mean, I'll mention this. I'll mention this first, so we can go into our next topic. But like, he would have just been able to easily control him. Like, even if he's drugged out. He, like, you just know another person's body better, and you know where their struggle points are going to be, and you're already going to be there. You're going to be set up for success before this person's even thinking, and then he's going to be like bewildered and deflated. But the other thing is that he would have been able to apply a correct chokehold that's not going to hurt anybody. It's going to get on your carotids, and you're going to pass out, and you're going to have a nice little nap, and you're going to be fine, because he's going to be trained enough to do it. He's gonna squeeze real hard, get that blood like stopped off from your brain, and then you're gonna be done. And he's gonna let go. He's gonna feel you go limp, because he knows he's been training for fucking 6 years now.
Right. Yeah. On top of that, see, like what you're saying, like, every cop should be trained that. Every cop should have extensive past 6 months of training, and then on top of that, I feel like they should get a refresher of that, like, every 5 years.
Oh yeah, they should be competing. They should be competing with other purple belts. Like,
they should get, because I mean, we see how many of those like tub of lards are out there.
Dude, someone that I could jog away from, and then they're gonna pull out their gun and shoot me. Like,
what the hell? They just can't run for more than 2 minutes, and then it's like, oh, I can't get a hold of the situation. What do I got to do? End the dude's life? Yeah,
you can't put like weapons of war, and I hate using that word because I'm like super pro gun, and I hate when people use that about like assault rifles. But you can't put fucking pistols and shit in insecure people, and someone that's out of shape and can't fight and doesn't know what physical confrontation is. I don't care what you say. You're lying to me if you say you're not insecure, because you are. You're aware of how vulnerable you are to the world around you. Yep. That's just what it is.
And then because of that, you're gonna be more aggressive when you first
you're gonna get nervous. You're gonna be like, oh, you better comply with me. Like, I'm gonna start to apply pain, because I know how to hurt things, but I don't know how to control something. They call jiu-jitsu the gentle art. Like,
gentle art.
Yeah, literally.
Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna like.
Yeah, so
Right.
white belts that spaz out, they're gonna be flailing and like they're gonna bump their elbow and their heel on you when they're on the ground. But a really good guy rolling with another good guy, it looks like water rolling around because they both know all of the positions and like
Right.
movements so tight that like they're keeping their body almost suspended with their with their own muscles. Like they're contracting all the time to move around
Right,
you,
right.
and like it's like they're avoiding gravity almost. Like jiu-jitsu happens in like 3D. It doesn't happen just like, oh, I'm crushing you, I'm wrestling with you. It's like you're always in a neutral position almost.
Mm-hmm. You gotta like
yeah.
swing around and shit.
Yeah.
Like use every part of your body. I mean,
Yeah, you can't put weapons in like fat dudes' hands that don't work out. And
I like you. I don't know. I feel like if you're going in to become a cop, that should be like the number one thing that you should be thinking about. Like, and that goes in regards to like your own safety. Like, if I'm gonna become a cop, first thing I'm thinking of is like, am I gonna be safe and like healthy enough to actually handle these situations? Because it's crazy because anything can snowball when you're out and being a cop. Like, I mean, we all saw that footage.
yeah, it gets out of hand fast. And like not even.
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh, they start shooting people fast, or like, oh, someone's like does like criminal activity really fast. It's just like, you know,
like going from like, can I have your ID to like, we're now like wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how fast it can snowball. Like I mean, pulling out a gun is a whole other thing. I don't want to get into that, but like, from getting like a simple stop sign, like running the stop sign or running a red light to, I'm gonna wrestle this guy out of his car and then into the back of my car. Like if I'm thinking that, like, there's gotta be X's and O's that I can do to like prepare the situation to actually handle it perfectly.
Yeah. So a lot of people, or a lot of states are part of all of this like mass reform that's going on. Is a lot of people, along with the chokehold ban, which I think is stupid because you take away the chokehold, their ability, like, granted, when they're crushing like their windpipe and they can't breathe and they end up dying, that's fucking tragic. And that's like those.
Pull up the link.
Yeah. And those people should be fired because they're incompetent. They can't do the job if they can't apply good choke. So there's the chokehold bans, and then the other thing is de-escalation training, which that just sounds obvious. Like it's weird that that's a proposal because it seems like that should have just been in the job anyways.
Banning on chokeholds right there.
Yep. Yeah, most people ban chokeholds, which shows just the ignorance of like the understanding of the job and how people just don't know how hard it is. Because if you think that that's like the best tool to dissuade cops from using their weapons is a good chokehold.
Yeah.
If they can wrestle them down, choke them, they don't need to even put cuffs on them. They don't need to pull out a taser. They don't need to go to their little Batman utility belt.
So let's look at Arizona, California. Well, these are cities. Yeah, Phoenix, Davis, California. LA. LA has a ban on this.
Go to Chicago, or wait, go to Boston, Massachusetts real quick. Or no, go to DC. I see that right there. Let's see what they did.
Yeah, ban on neck restraint.
Yeah, stupid.
Additional training. Look at this. Additional training or education.
Yeah, dude, a lot of places started giving more funds to the police.
3.
That's almost the most logical decision is to put more money into it.
There's only 5 out of this whole page that did that.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Cause like you think the big one of the big things to add to this is fucking social workers. Everyone wants to. They're saying like replace police with social workers, or like don't call police to everything. Call social workers to some things. Well, that could just be another wing of the police department for the people that aren't super like black pilled and think that the whole police department is just like a conspiracy to like fuck people over. But you would think you would think that makes more sense, right? To put more money into it. But I don't know.
Of course. Like you have a broken system that one of the most glaring things is every other educational system where you actually have responsibilities and like tasks to do has a prerequisite of 4 years of this education.
Right, yeah. It all comes back to
this prerequisite for a cop to own a lethal weapon, 6 months. I always go back to that because if
Lethal
they,
weapon, he has qualified immunity.
yeah,
He can dispense, like, he's judge, jury, and executioner right in a moment. Like, yeah, man, I
6
wouldn't want to do
months.
that job.
and now they have less money. Now they have
Less tools
money.
to do the job, making them feel more alone, more vulnerable.
Increased. Oh, so there was one thing that I saw in this article that was pretty cool. Duty to intervene. I really hope that this is something that actually.
What is that one? Mostly in smaller cities, but never requirement.
Let me
Oh, okay. So they'll actually get in trouble if they're a part of a situation that results in like bad policing and they don't step in.
Right. They'll actually get in trouble, and then there'll be like an extra cop that's gonna be, I don't know. I guess like handling the case after this, after it all happens, or if they're gonna be with the group.
Can you check if DC did that or not DC? Virginia, because I was getting my haircut today and I think I saw that happening.
I don't think they have. Well, all right. Increased transparency. How about that?
Okay,
Increased transparency. Washington D.C. Nothing.
that's weird.
But Washington D.C. has changes to protest protocol. What does that even mean? Changes to protest protocol.
I don't know. They're not
So
allowed to
that-
disperse a violent protest. Like what?
Yeah, they're not allowed to push protesters away from Donald Trump walking over to a
Oh,
temple just to take a picture.
I love how they had like the fucking flashbangs go off and then you had the airborne running in there.
Yeah.
Like, why are they there? It's weird.
Look at this. Proposed funding cuts
Oh, who we got?
versus total police department.
17% in New
17%,
York?
Yeah, cut.
Dude, are they trying to get people to leave there? Like, are they trying to bankrupt their city? They want all of the rich people to be like, oh, there's so much crime, I can't live here, and pull all their tax
Just
money out.
leave.
What are they doing, man?
I
Who are
can't
they going to
imagine.
get the rest of the 83% from?
No. They're cutting 17%.
Right, but I'm saying like the 83% that they still have to spend on the police department.
Uh-huh.
Who's going to fund that if all of the people are leaving New York,
Yeah.
or all of the people that pay the most taxes, anyways? God, that's fucking
Is that
crazy.
really? Is that really actually like?
Oh, dude, a lot of people are leaving New York right now.
I want to search that.
Yeah.
New York Times.
What's up, 5 viewers? What's going on? Just doing a little research right now. Feel free to drop your opinions on the on defunding the police. Whether you think like you should or should not,
Yeah, we might read them in a minute.
or yeah.
No.
Who's this guy?
Alright, let's see here. They even. Cities wealthy. Alright. Leave for good. Many wealthy individuals abandon Manhattan for nearby suburbs or other states entirely to escape the densely populated metro as it becomes an epicenter to the virus outbreak. So they're saying it's because of the virus outbreak. At least New York.
I mean,
Fox. I don't even
We'll
know
see.
why I'm reading this.
let's see. Fox Business.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, people have to understand. Yes, Fox is like a fucking like right wing think tank. They're pandering to like old people and young Christian people. Like for sure they're doing that. But just like MSNBC and CNN can be biased, they're still sometimes just giving you news. There's so much news to be
Yeah.
had. Like you have to understand. They're sometimes just giving you the news.
Look at this. People are moving out in Manhattan in numbers that he has never seen before. His company deals with his busiest season since 2008.
Yeah.
Many of the residents who have left belong to the higher income brackets.
Let's look at New York. Something interesting I saw is New York crime went down, but New York violent crime is like having a huge spike.
61% of the residents moving out are earning over 100,000.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
Holy.
That's what I'm saying, dude. The like 61% of your tax revenue.
Yeah. So wait, what were you saying to me to look up?
I think crime and like general crime, like petty theft and stuff, is going down in New York, but violent crime is spiked really high. And This is the place that disbanded that plainclothes crime unit. Just spike in burglaries. I was wrong. And murders so far this year.
Oh, that's the whole year though. Let's go to somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean.
Should we just keep it
Come
there?
on. Huh?
You want to just keep looking at that one?
Look at. I wish we could just see how many deaths like this August and July and June compared to like, you know, years prior. I wonder how crazy it looks. Yeah, I agree. Definitely more prerequisites before you get a gun and a badge. Before you get that sweet qualified immunity and a weapon of war.
Let me see here. Yeah.
6 times the normal level, far more than coronavirus
Oh,
cancer.
this is coronavirus.
Man. Coronavirus is fucking infecting my Google search engine.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Leading cause, no. Yeah, see, there's just coronavirus. How about this? Alright, here we go. Holy shit. Look at that.
Let's see.
So we got, so in June,
2020 is down? That burglary is up. Okay.
look at the robberies. How does,
That doesn't sound right, but I mean, I guess if I'm gonna call statistics,
Okay,
I have to abide by
burglary.
statistics.
burglaries up, that makes sense.
What is GLA? Grand Large? No, that's right above it.
Tell me this is the only one that mentioned that. I don't know, that's honestly, okay. I mean, that's surprising actually.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I feel like I've seen contrary to that, but I mean, I guess they're the ones fucking reporting it, so it must come from them. Or they're trying to look good. Some numbers are getting fudged.
There we go.
Crime surge in U.S. cities.
Some may say defunding the police will actually make it fall.
So listen, that could be true. If you're not reporting crimes that are happening, the crime statistic goes down. That's undeniable. Similar to the testing of the coronavirus. You can look away and it just goes away. We don't have any more cases. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
it's the same.
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Well, people are flaming Trump
honestly,
about not testing, but it's like if you have less police to go conduct the work,
yeah,
you're gonna have less reportings of the shit happening. I mean,
that could easily be.
or
the case.
or people just magically are like, oh yeah, these fucking police are finally out of our neighborhood. Let's act right.
That could easily be the case. I mean, I would say that.
So
yeah, some exact. What do you mean? Some say.
I guess the argument would be, is it that if they're doing less policing, are they doing more wrongful arrests? Is the wrongful arrests that won't be happening going to outweigh the people incentivized to commit crime because there's less of a police force? Do you think?
Say that one more time.
So, do you think the amount of people that will be wrongfully arrested, that won't be wrongfully arrested if there's less policing going on, is that going to outweigh the people that are going to be encouraged to commit crime because there's less of a police force? Like, do you think there's going to be more
No.
people encouraged, or
Yeah.
more people that won't be wrongfully arrested?
More people encouraged.
That's what I think. Because
I mean,
we already saw just when they're wrapped up with the protests, they're like oh
Yeah.
fuck yeah, like let's go downtown and
Yeah,
break shit.
let's take advantage of no cops being available. Literally, I mean, we saw. I mean, streams where there was cops.
Yeah, dude, we watched the streams for like weeks straight, and yes, it was like peaceful during the day, but fucking at night, shit was going haywire in every single stream, and it was from like how many? It was like 9 different cities at a time, and
Yeah.
it was just fires and just people going wild.
Wow.
No business as a combat armed soldier who's squeaked through, so I can only imagine the amount of those who become cops, a lot of which are people who fall out of the military basic training. That is absolutely true. Like Sammy's told me about some fuckheads that like make it through basic, and when he was going through, his shit was like a harder kind of basic training than just like regular infantry. But now he's got like shitheads getting pushed through because I guess they have to meet a quota or some shit. Think about how many fucks are just falling back on being a cop and get pushed through because they need cops. They need bodies on the streets.
Really? That's insane.
It's so tough, man. Like,
the thing is it wouldn't be as insane if they just didn't give them a gun.
That's true.
They just give him a taser. Like, I would be fine with that. Like, maybe he'll learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
He'll get more experience in the job, but just don't give him that lethal weapon that could just decide someone's life.
It works in some countries. Like, you would think because we have such an armed society that there's always going to be a hero that stands up and uses that gun. They could, not always, but like more often than not, there's going to be a hero around to use a gun. But it almost seems like cops need guns. I don't know. But I mean, maybe if they just had a taser.
This is one.
It's like enough to have the same deterrence of people that would commit crime anyways.
I would say so. I mean, how much time do you buy when you tase somebody? You buy like 5 to 20 minutes maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen some motherfuckers truck through tasers.
You think
you
so?
know?
Well, that's
like,
why you have that
cops, or they're just, you know.
That's why you have that semi-automatic. And just
that.
clack,
Yeah.
you know, right there twice. Let's see. Seattle approved nearly $3 million in cuts from the Seattle Police Department that would reduce its force by up to 100 officers.
That might not be that bad because there's a lot of pot smokers up there, so maybe they are kind of chilled out.
And look at Maryland, reduces budget by 2%.
You can't do that in Maryland.
They
man.
need.
That's gonna run off into D.C. and Alexandria.
Yeah.
Fuck.
New York City and June canceled the blah blah. Damn, over 1,000 recruits partially in response. Jeez. So this is the article that nearly half of 258 police chiefs surveyed by the said they were experiencing or expected to see budget cuts in the upcoming fiscal year. See,
no shit.
Right?
Yeah, it's like, so that's the thing. Who's deciding if the strategy is reallocating money? Mm-hmm. Like, and that's what we all as a community vote for. Do we also get to vote for where exactly that money goes, or is the money just still going to be going towards like the fucking kick-ass Spy Kids equipment, or is it going to be like just still they get the same amount of training, but they also like, or they get less training and they still get like the new fucking toys?
Yeah, see, that's another thing. Like, I feel like it's the same conversation we have with like, where's my taxpayer money going?
Right.
Like, how do I know it's like going to?
Or like you donate to a cause and it's just like fucking okay.
Yeah.
Throw it up.
That's one thing. I mean, because like, as a taxpayer, you're thinking, okay, this taxpayer money is going to like new highways, new schools, new like
it's going to my infrastructure.
Yeah,
right?
infrastructure,
like shitty roads
for public use. But like, you know, one thing we're seeing here is like, you know, when they're defunding the police, a lot of mayors and a lot of governors, they're like, okay, we're gonna put it into like these like I think one of the governors said we're gonna like move I think $1.5 million to community to help like the kids or some shit. But I was like, at the same time, dude, what exactly is that like, you just sugar-coated this whole thing, and I still don't know what you're doing exactly.
I thought we learned through the education system that like throwing money at it is not the way to go. Like all throwing money at something does is like guarantee that something a certain wage, so they can start like slacking off in other areas, and then they see that like, oh, like look, this system's failing, so we need more money. It's like, okay, so we gotta shell out more money, and then it becomes an endless loop. Mm-hmm. Like look at the DC public schooling system. It sucks. It's like it's rated really poorly.
And
but they're like the most funded in the fucking nation, dude. It just like sometimes you just need money to like hold up certain infrastructures, like give kids like laptops to be able to you know work from home right now. But like sometimes money is not the issue. Sometimes it's like, you know, I don't know what exactly it would be. But
I went to a high school. I wouldn't say I'm gonna keep this up there because that one's we can talk about that. But like, I went to a high school. I'm not gonna say the name, but I would say it was like a fairly very easy high school. It was so easy, so much to where like when I went to my university for the first year,
You were like overwhelmed, right?
it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was tough. Nobody was telling me exactly what to do, and I was just thinking like, yo, I was not prepared at all, and they had that leak where they like leaked out all of the teachers' income like on a yearly basis.
Oh, I bet you
I
felt
was
sick.
I was seeing some of my school teachers that would just sit on their butt and just literally put no effort into this class other than print out worksheets and read out loud a few times, and it's like, is that really? They had I saw like 10 of the teachers I knew, 6 of them had more than 100,000 a year.
Woo!
And I was
Dude.
just thinking like, holy shit, with that kind of money, I would be putting like
Yeah, I would be busting my
banners-
ass
yeah.
like, fuck yeah, I'm getting paid. I'm
Yeah.
like valued, you know.
I would
I'm,
be, yeah.
I'm appreciated.
I
Dude,
would
I
be
had this
putting-
IT teacher, like one of my first years of college, and someone had seen how many classes like he's actually signed up to teach, and it was like I couldn't fathom how many classes he was teaching because like it didn't make sense that he would be able to get to some, but like some would be hybrid, some would be in person, and some would be online, but it was just IT class, so he would be like
Right.
supplied the software for everyone to test on and to
Right.
read off of, so we would get to class and he would take attendance and he'd literally just be on his computer. He'd be like, hey, I'm gonna put the next like module on the thing, download it, and just kind of work at it at your leisure, and then he would check out. And it's just, and like he was real charming. He was like from South Africa, so he had this like funny accent. He was like really cool dude,
Yeah.
but he just didn't give a fuck, and he was raking in the cash from that same operation, like the most minimal amount of work with like a ton of classes. It's hilarious.
It's funny because like back in the day, like I used to love those teachers.
Yeah.
But then I saw how much money they were making.
Yeah, and then I realized I needed their help for a class that actually mattered, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck.
I actually needed to
Please.
know how to write papers and actually like make
Yeah.
coherent thoughts string together. But then like
Yeah, I need you to be on my ass so I
Yeah.
can improve.
there was another teacher that would in my class in my grade just like play Tetris with us. Like he was like the accounting teacher or whatever. Accounting. So like think about accounting. Think about doing your taxes every year. Think about balancing your credit cards and shit. And he was playing Tetris with us.
It's fucked up, man.
Accounting, like like the one class that actually you could make a debate about, that is one of the most important classes for people trying to become an adult and be independent. Like that's the class that you need going forward.
Yeah.
And
Do you need like deep, esoteric
yeah,
knowledge on and how the markets work and like, oh man.
I mean,
Or not how the markets work. Accounting, I guess, is just like the numbers inside of the corporation.
so this was the article that was talking about the cops that would be let go. That there would be the younger ones that would actually have a fresher mind, fresher ideals, and that energy to actually uproot all these bad. What would you say? Bad habits.
Bad eggs.
Bad eggs.
Yeah, it's like.
But it's like so you're saying it says that they're talking about 10% budget cut. It's gonna make it's gonna make it hard to change the culture in these police departments. Unable to hire new people or invest in trainers, and the first that are to go are gonna be the new deputies, the new officers, and then the last ones to go. Well, it says right there the last ones to go are gonna be the older ones. The first ones to come in are gonna be the first ones to go.
Yeah. So it's like you have a bed of weeds that's choking out all of these beautiful flowers that you want to bloom so that you can have a healthy garden of policing. You're yanking out all the flowers, and then like you're pulling up some of the dirt too, so these weeds are like decrepit and
Yeah, and they're not even making any fruit.
Yeah, they're just
Nothing
oh,
nothing
man.
for you to actually provide. They're just there taking up space and just taking up water and nutrients, and
See?
just not even looking good.
It's like there's a way to even make defunding work. I think, like I believe that truly, but it requires more than
Yeah, so
just
that's
like
the other article that
we're
I
gonna start
wanted to.
slashing.
So this one right here. This one right here was the good one. So they were talking about where's the money actually going, you know? Move this thing over here. This much better. So let's see here. I think it was all the way down here.
See, look at wait, just real quick.
Yeah,
let's
right
look at that
here.
picture. Scroll down.
Look at this.
Look at this RoboCop. Look at this guy.
GoPro.
He's about to bust in your house. He's about to breach the door. Like that. I had a teacher who sold weed to kids. Oh. You gonna drop the name or what?
I had a teacher that I had a teacher that went to parties and would pick up trees.
Ah, Jesus, man.
And I heard about that and I was like, damn. It was the Tetris one.
Oh.
It was a Tetris
so he's
playing
just getting
teacher.
high
Yeah,
playing
he's just
Tetris.
getting high playing Tetris. He's got like 90+ K in the bank every year. But I mean, look at this right here.
Yeah.
So right here, this guy right here, the mayor of Los Angeles, decreasing the LAPD by 150 million, reinvesting in black communities. That's great, by the way. I thought that was awesome. That's like, but at the same time, we gotta follow up on this, you know. Like, are they actually gonna do this?
Exactly. It's like reinvesting in black communities. That's such a great tagline to put on Twitter, but like, how does that get implemented?
Like, are there schools of just black people? Because that would fit in that criteria.
Oh, I bet there's communities where it's
Okay.
majority like black students or whatever. But
Then we need, all right.
it's just how does the money get there? I need to know that before like people get wrapped up in the narrative and just start giving all the power to these politicians that are like trying to subvert your idea of what's going on anyways, and you're giving them the power like, and they're never gonna give the power back. Let's just like pump the brakes. How we got to make sure how the money gets there.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I'm saying don't do that, but it's just I want to make sure it counts. I want to make
Yeah.
sure that we're like organized and getting the results that we want, as opposed to just giving freedoms up because there's
Yeah.
another like boogeyman or terrorist or coronavirus or pandemic.
And look at this. Like, they're saying that they're gonna cut 150 million, and we're all thinking, oh shit, like it's a lot, right?
Yeah, that's nothing.
2 billion is their overall budget right
I
now.
mean, I guess that's a decent amount. It's like that can definitely help some communities, but
2 billion?
yeah,
That's
that's
like
crazy.
what is that? That's like 5%.
Well, so look up our annual GDP
15%.
real quick.
And do you see?
Just the U.S. $20.54 trillion. So what's 2 billion of 20.54 trillion?
2 billion.
Fucking big brain math boy over here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do
It's like,
that.
nah.
It's gotta be yep. All right, so you said 2 billion, right?
Yeah. 2 billion.
So let's do
Billions. I want billions.
let's do that. That's gonna be billion divided by how many billion?
2 billion.
Oh, wait,
Oh, that's trillion, right?
yeah, no, this is gonna be billions. Actually, I gotta do one more. How do I fucking?
Then
All right,
do some trigonometry.
all right. That's gonna be yeah. That's billion.
No,
right?
that's gotta be trillion.
No, that's billions. Divided by how many billions?
No, it's trillions. 20.54 trillion
I know.
divided
I'm just keeping the units the same,
Oh, okay.
right? How many billions?
2 billion. 2 billion is the LAPD.
Why the fuck is this? Yo. All right, 2 billion. Where?
So 2%.
Is that? I'm not even. No, that's not even the number.
Oh.
Give me my phone. This thing sucks.
You're trying to like make me do cosine and sine,
Right?
tangent.
Let's see here. All right, 2054 divided by 2. This is 1,000.
So what's that percentage?
Oh yeah, divided by 100. 10%.
Wait.
10%.
2 billion is not 10% of 20 trillion. Right? That does not
Yeah,
make
multiply
sense.
it times 10. You get 20. 2 times 10 is 20.
But is there just 10 billions for every trillion?
Man.
Nah. There's like 100 billion for every trillion.
So it's probably 1% then.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1%.
Yeah.
Fucking That's
a
way-
lot. That's a fuck ton. I'm not gonna lie. I don't understand how that even works. Because if we start adding up like all of the expensive police precincts with like all of the police around the world, or around the U.S., and then you add in our military budget, how is there even room in that 20 trillion for other things? Like, I don't know. That number seems ridiculous.
I mean, what's even more ridiculous is actually like the fact that there's $2 billion going on. Oh, this is the overall police budget. This isn't just for LA.
That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense.
That makes a lot more
I was about to say $2 billion in LA and they don't have purple belts. These motherfuckers, they can't afford a jiu-jitsu class.
Actually, are they saying? Is it?
The overall police budget is $2 billion. That's a very vague. What
But
website is
but they're
this?
saying this right after. This is the Guardian. This is actually good. This is actually a good one. But I mean, they're saying it right after they're talking about the LA Police Department. So I don't know. We'll leave that up in the air.
Yeah.
But this guy right here is saying it's nothing compared to what the full budget is. Classic bullshit. We've been out here for months, so we all get we get all these really watered down, superficial reforms. And then there was somebody else here saying that he was trying to follow where the money was going exactly. I feel like it was somewhere here. But I mean, they were trying to follow where the money was going, and they couldn't actually. They couldn't confirm that it was going to where they were saying it was going to go.
Of course.
So
Of course. Just lost in the sauce.
I don't know how. See, the thing is like, how do we even protest that? Like, can we even protest just for information these days anymore?
That's the thing. Like,
Just something that simple.
people's like, it's like when you fucking take acid or something and like your serotonin just spikes so high that like nothing can really compete for a couple days. You got to recharge. Like, they fucking protested and brought down the system and like fucking burned down important buildings. Like, there's no way they're gonna do that same thing for like a misallocation of resources. I mean, or maybe they do organize and do that, but like, it has to be something. There has to be like a fucking something to start the fire. You know, there's got to be like a tinderbox that's just waiting to blow.
Right.
And some like big event.
I mean,
Anthony Weiner had a laptop with flashlight labeled life insurance. In a video on the drive, Hillary and others were seen cutting the face of it. Oh, this is deep conspiracy stuff. To scare her and give her a adrenaline pump, and her associates proceeded to drink
Writing a
blood from
novel
the chemical
over here.
found in blood when your adrenaline is at a high, which in theory promotes longer. Are you talking about the Andranamides or something like that? He's talking about that like
I don't
life
even
elixir. This is like deep like QAnon shit. I don't know if I can buy into QAnon, dude.
alright, well, the last thing we're going to talk about. The last thing.
Most
Most
I
important
take a little
thing.
bathroom break before we close it off?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, but
Yeah, sure, go for it.
teacher?
I'll keep the audience busy
Yeah.
real quick.
Pull up what you're gonna pull up.
No, I mean, just look, what was I looking at? Yeah. So we're going to talk about, right now, we're going to talk about, like, basically how citizens are going to be affected every day when it comes to the police cuts, like the funding. How long is it going to, what are the differences in response time? When I call 911 from a burglary, what is going to be the response time? Is it going to be 10-minute difference, 30-minute difference, hour difference, life or death difference? See, that's what I think about when I think, this is another thing that I think about when I think of like less police officers in the streets. So I was just saying that basically there's going to be less police officers out in the streets. So
Where does that
how
lead
is it
us?
how is it going to affect us living?
Have you ever had to call the police on anybody or on like something you were threatened by?
I have not, thankfully.
Neither have I. I've had.
Actually, yes. We were out in Glory Days, I think, and it was like kind of late. and me and my buddy saw like a super drunk dude, like just wiped out on the asphalt, jumped in his car, was about to pull out, and me and my buddy were just like, yo, like, where you going, man? Like, slow down. Like, yo, we can call you an Uber. We can get you a taxi. We can get you home. You
Wait,
don't
what was
have
he
to
doing?
drive. He jumped in his car. He was.
Oh, but he was like
He was
smashed.
super drunk. He was to the point where he walked out of the store and just wiped out. He walked out of the restaurant and just wiped out right there on the street. Got up, tried to jump in his car, start his car, and get out. And we walked over and we were like, "Yo, buddy, like, we'll call you an Uber. Like, we can get you home, but just leave your car here." And my friend was basically threatening him, saying like if you leave this parking lot, I took a picture of your license plate. I'm gonna send it to the cops and tell you that you're out on the streets.
Yeah, because at that point, I was trying to help you, but now, like, it's fuck you. I'm trying to help anyone that you're about to hurt because you're drunk driving. Yeah.
So in that sense, I mean, think about having less cops for that.
Yeah, dude, fucking, like, I'm armed. Like, I would like to, if, like, there's someone that's about to cause me or my family harm, like, I would rather be able to respond back with what I see is adequate, which is, like, fucking blowing them away. But if, like, other people don't have that, and other people don't like guns, and that's totally respectable, like, I get it, and, like, they think that's wrong or whatever, I would want something to be there for them, since we've come so far from fucking, like, barbarians just raiding towns, and, like, the only security is, like,
well, we say so.
Well, yeah, we like to think that we did.
Yeah.
Like, we like to think we're so woke and evolved,
Right.
and, like, we have these great ideas, like, we're so evolved, like, instantly, we already know it. It's defund the police. That's all we need to do, and then we'll be good, or, like, whatever knee-jerk reaction it is. So, I would also like to have that safety net, and, like, maybe someday we won't need a police force. Maybe someday, like, we'll, like, achieve some true enlightenment, and, like, we'll be peaceful,
Right.
but that's not right now. And there's people that are vulnerable to, like, hyper predators out there, and, like, people that are willing to do crime, and, like, and
It's always going on.
yeah, there's always going to be people that want to take advantage of people that are, like, genuine and want to, like, just enjoy their lives. They want to enjoy the benefits of being in a peaceful country.
People just
Generally.
waiting for the opportunity too.
Yeah.
And
So-
I mean, yeah, go on.
Yeah, if there's think about that. If there's less police, those people are always going to be waiting for it. And now there's going to be people encouraged, like, oh, it's that easy? I can just have some big come up, like, steal, like, a house worth of shit, sell it, and I can move out of this dump and
Right.
figure it out from there. Maybe commit more crime the next place I go. Like, it's just, it's not a good
and then
idea.
beyond that, like, when you think about being a cop as a profession, is that a profession anymore? Like, is that something that, if you had a kid and they were like, yo, like, I want to be a cop,
Oh, yeah.
would you be like, are you going to be financially secure? Are you going to be, like, physically secure? Are you going to be, I mean, I just find that as a tough, that's like, to me, that's like,
It's like a staple of, like, what kids want to be when they grow up.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a
Right.
police officer.
Yeah, that's like one of the, like, that's how back in the day it was like nationalism also meant that you were serving your country, and when you were serving your country the best, it was helping people and rescuing people. So that was, like you said,
Yeah.
firefighters, police.
So think about the criteria that we need to have less police. Like, it seems like there needs to be a huge shift to just people being more kind and wanting to, like, so how's the country great? The country's great because the people in it are great, not because we have some kick-ass military
Right.
or, like, we have some booming Wall Street that, like, can fuck people over and get these huge amounts of money at one time and then they blow it all on something. Like, that's not a great country. Those are aspects of a great country. You want a strong economy, you want a strong military force, but you have to have a structured, like, people that have, in common principles of, like, love and, like, wanting to promote
Right.
each other. Like, at some point, like, people hate when, like, people are all patriotic and nationalistic, and, like, I get it to an extent, but there has to be some unifying force.
Exactly. That's where I view that.
Yeah,
that's
it's
where
like-
I view that come in, because that's the only thing. Like, that's what keeps us in the most fundamental aspect. That's what unifies us. We're all in the same country. We might have different religious beliefs, different views, different perspectives, different ways of holding each other, but at the end of the day, you're my neighbor.
Yeah.
You're next to me.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be looking out for each other. But like, I mean, one of the things that I would say to like start the whole reform, I would say is like you were saying, how do we get these people to have the same beliefs and same like mentality that we're all in this together? I would say the first thing is education reform, getting more education out, because if we have more education out in like poverty ridden cities and like where it's tough to have stability, I would say if kids are going to school more and they're preoccupied, I would say there's less chance for being violent in the future, especially if you're getting taught at the same time of keeping yourself busy in the same location as other people. You have public checks and balances, like if you're saying something, somebody next to you is going to be like, hey man, that's not how like you should be treating other people, or this is not how you should be approaching this situation, or blah blah blah. You just get more accustomed. It's like bringing a scared dog into a kettle with other dogs.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a social interaction. There's gonna be that. All right, let's check and balance each other. Also, we're all on the same page.
Yeah, you gotta figure out where you shake out.
Exactly. And I think fundamentally that's where it should start. If we wanted to actually build it from the ground up, and like you were saying, have less police, we should have more people that understand how to.
You have to meet certain criteria before you start cutting the police. Like, you can say that there's wrongful arrests, but listen, like, the wrongful arrests are not accounting for the response in force. Like, so you have to start, we have to figure out first how to start bringing that general number of crime down before we start slashing police. And like along the way we can reform it. Of course, like we're a country built on reform.
Right.
Everything good from this country came from reforming our idea of what the world was. Like, we think it's so easy to just put ourselves back in like the 1700s and be like, oh, they should have done like this, what fucking idiots. But it's like, we are just echoes of what they accomplished also.
Right.
So like there's no us accomplishing anything or having any coherent thoughts if they didn't go through the ringer of what like drove us in this direction, that started out our trajectory.
Right. Yeah. One of the things that started like back in history, one of the like stepping stones of this country's constitution was the fact that the people in this country back in colonial times knew what they did not want, and they knew that they did not want a government like the British. So they structured a government that was basically answering what we did not want. And I feel like everything since that point has just been knee-jerk reactions on how do we mitigate what we don't want. And right now it's like we don't want this, and we're mitigating that drastically. And then the next thing is going to be, okay, how do we not want that? It's like trial and error.
Yeah, and that's like a very powerful thing. It's like you see this organism of like a country coming to life and like evolving to figure out what's going to best suit it for the environment. But the problem also with that is that we can get confused on what the actual reaction is supposed to be, and what are we even reacting to, because the powers around us are so strong now, dude. Like between Instagram, which is like liquid cocaine into your veins of imagery mixed with a powerful statement. There's enough characters to have some like witty little comeback that like sounds like it's really well read, along with the imagery of some shocking thing. It's so designed to fucking hook you right away and make you on its side or make you hate it. Like it's designed that way. And kind of lost where I was going there, but
it happens. No, I mean the media it has the ability to brainwash anybody who's looking at it too long enough, and especially younger people, because like when I say younger, I mean like high school and pre-high school.
Like the kids born with this shit.
Yeah.
They were born with the liquid cocaine into their veins.
Yeah. Imagine having
little crack babies.
Imagine having a kid that's in middle school right now, just got their phone. When did you get your phone, by the way?
Bro, I got my phone the summer of 8th grade. It was a flip phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got mine between, I think, the summer of 7th and 8th.
Bro,
But I got like a
I was
si-
texting
yeah.
the little like buttons
I don't-
multiple times, and I would have to like, type a letter in backspaces so I can make a space
Yeah.
and stuff. Like,
I didn't even.
retarded.
No, dude.
Alright, sorry.
I didn't even have text for like a while. I mean, did you text somebody in 8th grade?
Oh yeah, I was texting.
Damn.
I was texting.
No one I knew had
Dude,
phones.
okay, so I went to a private school, like this really poor private school in Delray,
Yeah.
and so there were like 25 girls, and there were like 6 dudes for some reason in my entire class, and that was the whole class. So like, I was a little 7th grade. I was trying to text some girls, like I was so excited. They're a little 8th grader.
Imagine getting a phone that like your first day and you're just automatically on Instagram,
Oh man.
and it's just like
I can't even imagine what
everything
Instagram
that's
would have done to my
happening
brain
now.
at that time. I'm fucked up now, I think, from just like
Dude.
how early I got like Facebook and
how opinionated
Twitter.
you'd be.
Oh,
You'd
dude,
be
I
so
thought I knew
opinionated.
everything on Facebook when I was like in high school and shit,
Yeah.
dude. I was like, yeah, and you think this? Well, blah blah blah. You're a fucking idiot. And this, and I thought I knew fucking everything. Man.
Yeah, now it's just like
Dude, I feel like our generation started the woke culture because we wanted to
Hashtag
call
woke.
everybody on everything.
hashtag woke.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my
We were woke as
goodness.
fuck back in 2010.
Man, I can't imagine having a kid. Like just to get them away from all of this like bubble that has been created.
I feel like you probably shouldn't have a kid at this point until we figure out like gene editing, so you can make them really healthy. They won't get cancer. They won't have respiratory issues. They'll be like fucking athletes, like crazy. Like just wait.
Topic
I'm
for next week.
It's so close. I feel like we're there. That or like symbiosis with technology, and
Yeah.
we're just gonna take off.
Well, I think that's about it, man. I think
All right, man.
Wraps it up. What is these comments here?
Let's see. Oh god, no, that's the QAnon stuff. Don't even say it. We might get shot.
100% times are already really slower. Flies from India. Yep. Well, that about wraps it up.
All right, y'all.
Push this thing here.
Subscribe or follow. We don't have a
Follow us.
subscribe button. It'll be on YouTube soon.
Yeah, hopefully, we get that figured out soon.
Yeah.
I think we should make a new channel for that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it shouldn't be bullying either. It should be the
Yeah, it
Make
should
Sense
make
podcast.
sense here, yeah.
Make Sense podcast. We are just trying to make sense of whatever the fuck's going on. And that's it. Take it easy.
That's about it, guys. Alright. Gang, gang.
Gang, gang.
We're gonna have to quote that shit every now and then. Start out with gang, gang.
It's
end
always
out with
gang, gang.
Alright, guys. Peace.
Peace.